Welcome to KocoSports. I am the huge one, aka the idiot Dave Koco from WrestleAM, a podcast on YouTube, KocoSports, and wherever you find podcasts. And I am joined by my tag team partner, a little bit old school here. One, boom, boom, shaking the room. And I don't know if you guys know this, but something happened in wrestling. Dude, there was so much wrestling today, boom, boom. I have like 6 videos to do today. I'm scared. Hold me, boom, boom. Tell me everything's going to be okay. All right. Listen, I want all extreme comments to argue back and forth down in the comment section. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, because no one has a strong opinion about this at all. Shout out to Kayfabe News at Kayfabe News for the graphic that we're using, and we're going to be reading off tpww.net. No affiliation whatsoever. Just start. We'd rock and roll it. Everyone wanted CM Punk fired, and now when CM Punk's fired, well, that's not true. It's got to be hard. Everyone has such extreme takes on social media that you really can't get a pulse on it. I don't think half the people on Twitter ever had jobs. I don't think half the people on Twitter ever been in a fight. What percentage do you think go on Twitter that have actual occupation and have been in a fight? That's probably a pretty low percentage.
Yeah, I'd say right around 4 or 5%.
Yeah, and it shows. They have some fucking extreme takes.
Oh yeah.
So CM Punk has been released. I'll read it real quick here. There's a statement from All Elite Wrestling and Tony Khan. All Elite Wrestling AEW has terminated with wrestler employment agreements between Phillip Brooks, aka CM Punk, and AEW with cause. You know you're fucked when they say with cause. That's just a little grown-up talk right there. Effective immediately, the termination was confirmed today by Tony Khan, CEO, General Manager, and Head of Creative of AEW. The termination follows a week-long internal investigation of an incident occurring backstage at AEW. That's so we don't get countersued. That's I'm translating this. All in London on Sunday, August 27th. Following investigation, the AEW Discipline Committee met and later convened with outside legal counsel before making a unanimous recommendation to Khan that CM Punk to be terminated with cause. Khan offered the following statement. Phil played an important role with AEW. Did he? I think he's just being too kind. And I thank him for his contributions. Dude, I can't read. The termination of his AEW contracts with cause was ultimately my decision and mine alone. I mean, you went through a lot of steps not to get sued, but all right, now we're confident. Of course, I wish I did not have to share this news. I think this is big balls. I know a lot of people are busting his balls about sharing the news. I think that's what a fucking leader should do. I know, it's weird. It's like, keep it kayfabed and pay off fucking whores. That's the way to be a leader. It's such a fucking weird thing. I wish I didn't have to share this news, which may come as a disappointment to many of our fans. There are people that love CM Punk no matter what he does. Nevertheless, I am making this decision in the best interest of the many amazing people who make AEW possibly every week. Our talent, staff, venue operators, and others whose efforts are unsung but essential to bringing our great shows on television, at the arena, stadiums throughout the world. It does take a lot of work. It does take a lot of work to put this show on the air. All right. Boom, boom. I've been saying he should be fired. Actually, I was saying pro-fired, but I was also saying just pay him to stay home. Just pay him to stay home as like a suffering. But then, again, if you pay him at home to stay at home, then maybe other people will start acting up. Boom, boom. Shocked? Not shocked? About time? Just right? What's your first take on CM Punk being let go?
Well, when it first happened, when I was going through my Facebook feed and I saw it, and I wanted to make sure that it was true because social media, I don't know if people know this or not, but sometimes stuff on social media isn't exactly true. So I wanted to verify. So I went to some of the dirt sheets.
Can I just cut you off for a second? I noticed something about human beings. If it supports their view, it's 100% true. But if it doesn't support their view, it's 100% false. I'm noticing research doesn't have much to do with finding the truth for most people, most of the masses. Go on.
So I read, and I found another article. In fact, I found 2 articles on it, on the interwebs. and they're pretty much saying the same thing. And they had the same statement that was posted on social media was also posted on the site. So I said, well, I guess this is legit. And I was, kind of surprised, but also I was like, well, you kind of saw this coming. And what for I mean, I hate to see somebody lose their job. Honestly, I really
Yeah,
did. I
yeah, yeah.
really did.
You
I hate to
kind of
see
don't
somebody.
root for that, but at the same
Yeah,
time, you can't go
exactly.
around ruining everyone else's. You just can't.
Right. And guys, let me just tell you something. And I know people, and I'm probably going to get heat from half the crowd on this one, but let me tell you,
It doesn't
I'm
matter where
actually
you land; you're gonna get half the heat.
exactly, exactly. So I'm going to be in the camp that I don't want to say pro firing, but I feel like this needed to happen, and here's why.
All right.
All right, I want everybody, let's just take wrestling out of it. Let's just take wrestling out. This is a regular company, and we're going to talk to a regular person about this situation. And they're going to say, hey, this guy got fired. Well, what happened? Well, we all work at the widget factory. That's what we do now. We're working at a widget factory. We're not a wrestling promotion. AEW is a widget factory. One of my employees had an issue with another employee. So instead of hashing this out with HR or amongst themselves, this employee goes onto a public forum, public space, and starts airing his grievances without consulting anybody
Yeah.
about it. So I had my some of my managers and an HR representative went to go speak to him about this issue, and this employee initiated a physical altercation with management, to which we took disciplinary measures on the management for the physical altercation as well as this employee. He took a leave of absence. He comes back. He immediately goes back to airing grievances with other employees, in a unsolicited, in a public place, in a public forum. Then he has another issue with another employee, and these two meet up in the break room, and this employee again initiates a physical altercation with an unprovoked physical altercation with another employee.
Yeah.
So, I mean, let's just taking wrestling out of it. You have one guy who has started, he's not just the fact that he's been involved in fights, but he has started the fights. And he's already done this twice. And the second time he did it in a common area with other people around. And when Tony Khan put out that statement that, he felt for his life, maybe some of you were rolling your eyes at that statement going, oh my
Okay,
God, really?
Can I say two things real quick?
Yeah, go
Booms, I
ahead.
don't mean to cut you off about the rolling eyes because I got that written down and I don't want to forget. I apologize.
Mhm.
One, that's very lawyer speak. If you've ever been a place that is dangerous, like if someone comes into my house and I beat the living piss out of them, I have to say I was feared of my life living in Japan. Like that's if you're guilty or not. In most states, if you say, "Oh, well, what happened?" you have to sell or convince a jury you feared for your life. So that might be lawyer talk. And on top of that, how many of you honestly have been in a fight? That's all I'm saying. Because like I think the percentage of people acting tough on Twitter are not tough. I saw one guy. I'm gonna keep him nameless to keep his reputation. He was talking shit how CM Punk is a bitch, or no, Tony was a bitch. I don't know. One of the guys were a bitch, and I fucking DM'd him like, bro, you were afraid to meet up with me in Yokohama because you thought I'd beat your ass, and I had no intentions on beating your ass. I would calm down with fucking throwing out the bitch word here, pal. All right, go ahead, Booms.
So, and I could kind of see Tony Khan's point, because he was saying that, I felt that way, and there were other people around who were not wrestlers. They're just regular employees. They're in like this enclosed area, and they've got two grown men, fighting right there next to them. I mean, and he doesn't believe that they should feel, in fear or in danger, because I mean, they're around that.
Yeah, and I worked in television. You've worked in television. You've had wrestlers around. You've interviewed Bray Wyatt and other great wrestlers in your television studio. I have worked in television studio in sports, pro wrestling, and a little bit of sports news, you know? The average person working the board isn't going to be fucking happy if a goddamn pro wrestler starts throwing people around. I know everyone is tough, but the average fucking person, boom, boom. You go to studio, what, 6 days a week, 5 days a week?
Yeah, 5 days a week.
If you pulled a random employee, not you, out of the hat, and one of the pro wrestlers started freaking out in studio, would that random employee be beyond pissed off?
Yeah, because I've let's see, of the people that I've had in studio, I've had Ryback in studio, I've had Brodus Clay and Jason Albert in studio. I've had Aaron Stevens. You know, these are just different studios that I've worked at throughout the years. But it's one of those, like, say,
if they started throwing down,
no, yeah, exactly. If they started fighting, there's really not much I can do to go in there and break them up. If that, and I'm not saying that they're going to hit me, but if that fight comes towards me, what the fuck am I going to do?
And not only that, but what about Susan working the soundboard? Please tell me you have someone named Susan there. She ain't going to fucking deal with that shit. And, you know, even NFL, the UFC, boxing, you know, they have that shit. They have that shit down pat. It's just stupid. All right, go on, sir. You had more to say?
Yeah, and so I think, and this is, you know, people criticize Tony Khan, but my God, you got to admit, this is fucking ballsy. He did this. He did all this knowing that he's got a pay-per-view to sell, and he's in Chicago. He fired CM Punk when they were in Chicago, and he went out there on Collision, and he took it like a man. He walked out there on stage, and they booed the fuck out of him relentlessly.
Yeah. And to me, like, it's coming up and taking it on the chin. Sometimes you have to do that. And here's the thing. I've worked with Vince. I think a lot of people think WWE is a smooth-running machine. It's not. And I think a lot of people think Vince McMahon is as tough as his character. He is not. You guys know there's a difference between fucking reality and fucking Vince McMahon strolling out, okay? The Vince McMahon I know, sweet, kind son of a goose and biscuits, okay? That's the only Vince I know. He was always kind to me. Like, could you imagine? Be like, hey, Coco, welcome to the fucking team. You fucking look at me and sneeze, I'll fucking break your back. But who knows? He also bullied people that would let you bully. So, but that's a whole nother topic. But I'm just saying, I think he did the right thing by coming out. He's gonna be memed for fucking ever. Let's be honest. But he did the right fucking thing. Earlier this week, majority of people wanted CM Punk to be fired and him to explain what happened. He does it, and then you're like, what a fuck? Like, some people on Twitter are like ex-wives.
Yeah, and actually, and there's a question I actually want to ask of, like, you know, people listening to this video. If you're on the other side of this, let's just say you believe that CM Punk should not have been fired. What argument would you make in favor of Punk keeping his job after this? I've laid out my arguments.
Well,
you know,
I'll play as devil's advocate. All right, let me be pro Punk. Okay, I'm gonna be devil's advocate. I don't believe what I'm saying, but let's be pro advocate. People were out for him. Okay, first it was the Elite, all these indie guys, they were after me. They didn't want me to have power. They were talking smack. They were doing this, all that. That's pretty much their thing. That's their thing. That's their stance. And he sells a lot of stuff. That's their stance. I haven't heard anything else besides that, but I think that's like the majority of their stance. And, you know, here's the thing. All right, two things here. I just want to make sure. I've had tough jobs before. I've worked in pro wrestling. I've worked in Marine Corps infantry. I've been, you know, a lot of different tough jobs. And there's a universal fucking thing not to be a douchebag. I don't know. Like, them fighting doesn't bother me. But there's a step, and it's a fucking step between a man and a coward. And I don't know what the fuck happened to this generation. If you're in the Marine Corps and you want to fight someone, if you're in pro wrestling and you want to fight someone, if you're a fucking Dairy Queen and you want to fucking fight someone, you do the fucking honorable thing and ask them to step outside. Whatever happened to that? Whatever the fuck happened to that? Susan isn't in trouble. You're not wrecking a job. It's like, I've challenged people to fights at work, but I at least had enough fucking dignity to say, hey, let's step outside. That's all. That's all. Whatever happened to stepping outside? That's all I'm saying. That's all. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You know.
Right. And to not drag this video out longer just for the sake of it, but I think some of the questions, a natural question that people are going to ask, either if you're on the pro-firing or anti-firing side, is what about Jack Perry? He was involved in that altercation too.
Well,
so
if there's
I'll tell you what, you tell me what you think should happen, and I'll just tell you I'll give you my 2 cents.
Okay, well, the film footage changes it. If the film footage has him attacking first, 1 suspension, because that's the norm now. You've established a norm. 1 suspension, and then if it ever happens again, you're fired. That's the norm. That's the thing about NFL. That's the thing about the military. That's the thing with even WWE. WWE outside of Vince, they are like, oh, this is not WWE is a bad example. We're taking WWE off the plate, but the NFL, the NBA, the NHL, they have it slotted out. We're like, hey, this is what he did. Now you have it. So if the video footage matters, I know this sounds crazy, but the video footage matters. If Perry hit Punk first, a suspension and then a firing if it happens again, because that's the norm now. You've laid down the law, that is the law. That's, CM Punk versus Perry, 2024, whatever fucking year we're in. That is the fucking rule now. You've established it. That's if Perry attacked him first. If Punk made contact first, nothing. Absolutely nothing. An apology and a free fucking t-shirt.
I looked at this, situation with Perry because, first of all, one of the things that I would do is, I'm not saying I'm giving a pass, but he is young and stupid. You need to have somebody like Billy Gunn. You need to have somebody like Dean
Wasn't that what CM
Malenko,
Punk was, sir?
Well, yeah, but Jerry Lynn, Mark Henry, you need to have one of these veterans sit Perry down and go, look, this is why you don't go into business for yourself. This is case and fucking point of why you don't go into business for yourself. Because he goes back there. Now, he gets assaulted. Now, considering it, now he was assaulted. He was just defending himself. It was just one of those, I hope this is lesson learned, is what I hope. So that's why I know there's going to be some people, well, he was in the fight too. He needs to get fired. Well, no, he didn't start it. He was,
Well, we don't know that. The film will show that.
Well, no, it was by the backstage accounts that after Perry went backstage after his match, Punk got up in his grill and told him, like, I can kick your ass, right? And either pie-faced him or pushed him. He started it. Punk initiated the physical confrontation.
Yeah.
But I would argue, it's like, look, this is why you don't go into business for yourself, because somebody can take it to an extreme, and then here you go. So, but hopefully with Jack Perry, it's lesson learned. Just put this behind you now. Just go out, learn your lesson, and just go out and just be the best pro wrestler you can be.
Yeah. All right. There's 2 things I just want to add. One, CM Punk, you need anger issues, my friends. And that's coming from a guy that fucking is pretty goddamn angry. And CM Punk, some of it, not all of them, but some of the people on Twitter seem like this, but you never know who's trolling, who's genuine. Mm-hmm. They have like ex-girlfriend, ex-wife vibes to them, where one of the things to test if you have anger issues is you go to the person that's always angry and you say, if you can get anything right now, would that make you happy? And I don't think CM Punk could have been given more by AEW. Like, what is he going to do? Choose the roster? You know what I mean? They could not have given this man more stuff, and he was still angry.
I agree.
So when you come up to an angry person, you might like this angry person, you might even love this angry person. But you have to ask, is there anything in the world that will make this person happy? If you gave CM Punk $1 million and all the power, he would find something to be angry about. So you got to back away, and he needs help. And with that, too, don't look past not kind of shooting on the company and other employees. I'm going to kayfabe the company. It is a pro wrestling company. I'm going to kayfabe the employee's name. But one of an employee badmouthed a company. It's in pro wrestling. And they said, what should we do? And I said, well, there's a difference of being a fan on YouTube and then being a paid employee. A fan on YouTube or a reporter, you can say whatever the fuck you want. But if you're a fucking paid employee, you got to find ways to spin it. Like, here's the thing. You know you WWE sweaties? You're doing all the work. AEW sweaties, too. Let's throw them in there. If you blindly defend a corporation and you're not getting paid, find someone that will give you a fucking hug. Because that's a job. That's not a hobby. That's not a passion. That's a fucking job. And if you are getting paid, like CM Punk was, and you're talking shit, I say one strike and you're gone. You got, you know, where else can you go? Like, can you go to any job and be like, this fucking place sucks all the fucking time and keep that job?
Well, you can do that, but you just can't do it in public. I mean, if you want to do that at home at your house,
oh yeah, in private,
tell your partner, oh yeah, this fucking job sucks. My boss is a dick. But when you're doing that at your job, around other employees or in a public space forum, like a convention or something, just some kind of like a public forum or conference or whatever, and everybody can hear you, stuff will be done.
Yeah. And can I just throw an idea out? I'm going to pretend I'm wearing Tony Khan's shoes, okay? I'm going to be Tony Khan for a second. This is a Tony Khan hat, okay? Bam, put it on my Tony Khan hat. The roster's too bloated. I would literally go and have a meeting. Not like Impact. And I definitely would not tape it. What the fuck was Dixie thinking? I would have a meeting, obviously not tape it and put it on fucking Impact. That's a bad idea. Having private meetings and putting it on air, not a good idea, especially in the kayfabe world, okay? Second, I would have a meeting and say the roster's bloated. Some people are not happy. You have 24 to 48 hours. Who knows? Maybe give them 72. 72 seems fair. You got 72 hours. We'll drop any of your contracts. We're looking at you, FTR. Oh, look at me. I don't have any weapons. If you're a champion, you got 72 hours. It's the fastest way to clean your roster of just fucking pure scum. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, listen, I don't know if you know this, but fucking running a company is difficult. Paying people that... You don't think there's fucking thousands of people that want your goddamn job? Oh, shit, I'm turning into CEO Koco here. I definitely would not put it on air. Do not put this on air, Tony. Don't do it like Dixie. But I'd just sit down. You're like, FTR came out and gave the little sign. I would be like, all right, you're dropping the titles to fucking random team on fucking Wednesday, and you're gone. You have to have control. Your employees. You know what I mean? And here's the thing. Everyone's a fucking tough guy. Okay? But, like, does anyone know how to be an employee? I feel like sometimes I made a mistake, Boom Boom. I went to Twitter and read the reactions.
Oh,
it was horrible. It was horrible. I don't think people know what a job is or a fight. I don't think either one knows what that is. Oh, man. But, yeah. I do find it weird. I guess if you're pro-punk, is this fair? We'll go with this. If you are pro-punk, what more could Tony have done? Are you going to fire the elite? Are you going to fire... because he's probably angry at 6-8 people, if not more. How many people are you going to fire for him? And two things that I want to leave this off on, Booms. You can cut me off if you have something else to say. Dennis Rodman He's going to be at the pay-per-view. He was at Collision. Dennis Rodman, when he had 30 rebounds, he was worth him being an asshole. When he had 8 rebounds, he wasn't worth being an asshole. CM Punk, I love you, and you've always been an asshole. You're not worth the 8 rebounds. That's it. You know, that's all there is to it. I don't think there's any more we could say, but I hope you find happiness, and good luck jobbing to fucking Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 40, buddy. Good luck. Because here's boom boom. I put on my AEW cap. You put on your WWE cap, okay? You're Triple H. You're Vince. All right. You know, obviously nothing's ever gone wrong in WWE. Just ask Snuka, ask Bret Hart, ask Brock Lesnar, ask Jeff Jarrett. Nothing's ever gone wrong. Ask Ultimate Warrior. Okay, I'm sorry, that was a little blow. You were wearing a WWE hat, boom boom, and I wanted to attack you. All right, boom boom. Last question: if you are WWE and you are control of WWE right now, the way it's running, do you bring in Punk?
Honestly, I wouldn't. And here's why. And again, this is with the WWE cap on. Do you think Triple H is going to be in favor of Punk after his past? I mean, think about it. He's not stupid. I mean, the guy, as far as I can tell, the guy can read. So you've had a guy who was handed a lot of things in AEW. I mean, hell, they dedicated one show to, they dedicated half of a show when they debuted a Rampage. Half that show was Punk coming out to the ring and airing his grievances. They made him champion. They gave him a big push. They gave him big matches with some of the top stars. They pretty much forgave him after the All Out incident last year. They basically built an entire show. They built Collision around him, and he still found reasons to be angry. Now, plus, I'm not sure if Punk would want to do it because, I mean, he's still pissed at WWE because remember one of his grievances was he got fired on his wedding day.
Yeah.
That was still one of his grievances. I think he might still have issues. You think, people like in real life, not like in character, but real life, people like Seth Rollins want somebody like Punk in their locker room.
I don't know. Seth said he would love to wrestle him again, but he also said fuck him. So Seth has been all over the place on his quotes with him.
There's like the macho part of you, there's the competitor part of you, but then there's like the human being part of you, and it's just like, do you really want to bring that into your locker room? Because, I mean, think about it. If he got everything that he ever wanted or you could ever give somebody and he's pissed off, imagine if he comes to your locker room and he doesn't get his way.
Yeah. Imagine him going 50-50 booking, but he has to lay down first. Because the only way you can use CM Punk properly if you're WWE is have his anger focused at AEW and proving people wrong. But is he worth all that coaching and all that fucking keep an eye on? I don't think he's worth it anymore. Punk.
I mean, the only thing you would have to do is maybe give him like the Brock Lesnar treatment, where you only bring him in for big events. You make him the champion, and he always wins.
Do you think Triple H and Vince would give him that?
Oh God, no.
I mean, I don't see it. If I could, I fucking see Triple H like, hey kid, I got this guy named LA Knight. You're putting him over next pay-per-view. So what the hell? I fucking had to deal with this with Tony and Vince. You too, Triple H. Anyway, CM Punk. Let's say the good things with CM Punk. CM Punk lovers already left anyway. Hey, It was cool that you made Straight Edge cool. I worked with Troubled Teens, and you were a cool guy that showed that. That's awesome. You were one of the best wrestlers of all time, and you gave us hope in WWE when there was no hope. With that said, I hope you find happiness in something else. Booms, thank you for coming by. We are KocoSports on Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, X, and the mean streets of Yokohama. With that, I am over. Hey, ba-dum, bum, bum, boom. Whoop.